5 interesting facts about scary stories to tell in the dark. It's a scarefest-filled summer 2019 for Hollywood, as horror movies will surely pack excited audiences inside cinemas. Expected to bring thrilling chills is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, with its frightening characters from a popular children's book series. Get to know interesting facts about the movie before its release, starting August 9th this year. Number 5. Based on the children's horror book series. One big reason why Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is watched out for by eager horror movie fans is because it's based on a well-loved, although much-challenged trilogy of children's horror books written by Alvin Schwartz. The first volume was published in 1981, followed by a second one in 1984, and the trilogy was completed in 1991. So those born in the 80s until the 1990s must have read these books, each containing between 25 and 29 hair-raising stories, drawn heavily from folklore and urban legends. Raising the scary factor of the stories are the unforgettable illustrations and images done by Stephen Gammell, which are garish, gross, gothic, and ghostly. The movie version lists 5 stories from the books: The Big Toe, The Red Spot, Pale Lady, Harold, and Gangly Man. Will the film be as nightmarish as the books, which were even banned because of their utterly terrifying stories? Number 4. Helmed by the Autopsy of Jane Doe director. In 2010, Norwegian filmmaker Andre Øvredal wrote and directed the dark fantasy film Troll Hunter that received positive reception, won awards, and caught Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro's attention. Inspired by the horror movie The Conjuring, Øvredal then wanted to do a pure horror movie, which resulted in 2016's The Autopsy of Jane Doe. The movie centers on father and son coroners who experience supernatural phenomena while conducting an autopsy of an unidentified dead woman. This was Øvredal's first English-language film that brought him into the consciousness of international movie audiences. While Del Toro was developing Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark in 2017 as one of the producers, he thought that Øvredal was the ideal guy to helm the film. Despite being unfamiliar with the books the movie is based on, Øvredal agreed, saying, "I fell in love with the screenplay, which was just this kind of Amblin-esque scary movie set in a period that was so exciting." And for the record, Øvredal was the only director Del Toro considered. Number 3. Cast is composed of promising young stars. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is teeming with teenage characters, and so the movie's cast is predominantly composed of upcoming and promising young stars. Leading the juvenile cast is the 17-year-old Zoe Colletti, who played Tessie in the 2014 remake of Annie, and appeared with Jake Gyllenhaal and Carey Mulligan in 2018's Wildlife. Michael Garza was part of the Hunger Games' Mockingjay 1 when he was 15 years old. Now, at 19, he plays a vital role as Ramon Morales in this horror flick. Part of the cast, too, is Austin Zajur, who has appeared in Fist Fight and Kidding, a TV series starring Jim Carrey. Canadian actress Natalie Ganzorm, who became well known for guesting in Nickelodeon's Make It Pop in 2015, is making her screen debut in this horror movie. TV star Kathleen Pollard plays Sarah Bellows, the film character whose written scary stories become real-life nightmares for the teenage gang. 2 of the most experienced cast members are Austin Abrams and Gabrielle Rush. Abrams has appeared in 13 films in the TV series The Walking Dead as Ron Anderson, while Rush was cast in 7 films, including The Grand Budapest Hotel and TV shows such as Gotham and Better Call Saul, aside from appearing in Broadway's Billy Elliot the Musical. Having a fresh and talented cast is another big plus for the movie. Number 2. Guillermo del Toro is co-writer and producer. With director Guillermo del Toro working endlessly and zealously behind the film, how can Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark go wrong? After all, the acclaimed Mexican filmmaker and producer is a 2015 Oscar Best Director and Best Picture recipient, and likewise considered as a master of horror and fantasy movies. His filmography boasts of a well-crafted horror and fantasy films, each having their share of accolades: Kronos, Pan's Labyrinth, Crimson Peak, and The Shape of Water, for which Del Toro got double Oscar victory. As for his latest pet project, the director is a self-confessed fan of the Scary Stories in the Dark books. His passion in producing and co-writing a film adaptation got him involved, from conceptualizing and picking specific stories from the books to co-writing the story and choosing the director. The fact that Del Toro is attached to Scary Stories in the Dark is surely going to be a special project worth watching. Number 1. Story involves a group of teens during 1960s America. The movie's director, Andre Orvidal, has revealed that Scary Stories in the Dark isn't an anthology of stories taken from Alvin Schwartz's books. Instead, it's going to be a 2-hour film with one narrative where all elements picked from the books will be part of the story. Set in the small town of Mill Valley in 1968, a young girl named Sarah Bellows writes a book containing scary stories of her tortured life. A group of teens finds the book, and to their horror, the stories are written specifically for each of them that has to do with who they are and what they have their greatest fear of. So, moviegoers will be in for a great scare by the minute. As the teenage cast battle it out with a gangly man, Harold the Scarecrow come to life, the pale lady who invades dreams, a swarm of spiders, and a big toe seeking revenge. All horrible creatures representing the teens' fears. It's going to be a scream fest for 120 minutes the moment the lights are turned off and the theaters are enveloped by darkness. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to our channel for your daily fix of awesome infotainment.